Hi, welcome back. This is Professor Ridge, and today's lesson is on section 10.1, conic sections, parabolas, and circles. So, equation of parabola. A parabola with a vertical axis symmetry opens upward or downward and has an equation that can be written in the form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So this one we already studied before, and we know how to put it in the other form, and we can find the vertex and the shape and all that. And then we can also have parabola that opens sideways. So a parabola with a horizontal axis of symmetry opens to the right or to the left and has an equation to be written. And notice the x and y's are just basically changed. So this is a horizontal axis of symmetry, opens sideways, so to the left or to the right. And basically what it's the techniques are the same that we've done before for this one that opens sideways, but just we're going to switch the x and y coordinates. Alright, so let's try a couple and see how we do. Okay, so we can use the technique we did before for the vertex, which is the minus b over 2a, and we'll get our opposite b, so negative 2 over 2 times 1, which is negative 1. And then k is going to be, you're just going to put in the negative 1, whatever you get for h, and plug it in for all your x's. So we get 1 minus 2 plus 3, which is 0. No, 2. Okay. Okay, so a vertex is going to be negative 1, 2. So we plot that, negative 1, 2. And then from there, remember, we can still do the same technique we did before. The shapes can be y equals x squared. So there's, if it opens up or down, it's exactly what we did before. So we're going to do a pretend origin, 0, 0, 1, 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4. Have your axis of symmetry. So let's see, 0, 0, 1, 1, mirror image. 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Mirror image, and then we make a parabola. It's simple as that. Okay, so let's try one that opens sideways so you can see how it works. And pretty much it's the same technique, you're just going to switch the x and y's basically. Okay, so we're going to find the vertex. Now the k is like the h for if it opens. This is x equals y squared, so this opens sideways. So the k is the h, which we do the minus b over 2a trick. So that would be negative 3 over 2 times 1. So it's negative 3 halves. And then our h is you're going to plug in negative 3 halves for all the y coordinates. So the idea is our vertex is going to be hk still, but the k is the minus b over 2a because it's kind of like they're switching. And then the h is the, once you get the answer for k, you plug in all the y coordinates, negative 3 halves, in for y, the k in for y, I mean. So we get 9/4 minus 9 halves, which is negative 9 halves. So my vertex is h is negative 9 halves, k is negative 3 halves, and it's going to have that same shape, x equals y squared, xy. Now we're going to put in we're basically switching our x's and y's, so it's going to be, if I put in 0 for y, x is going to be 0 squared. Put in 1 for y, x is going to be 1 squared. Put in 2 for y, x would be 4. And then the axis symmetry is going to be a horizontal line, y equals negative 3/2. Okay, so let me graph this. Okay, so our vertex is going to be at negative 9/2, which is negative 4.5. Wait, let me check that before I get too crazy here. Let's see, negative 9/4, this would be negative 18, so this should be negative 9/4, sorry. So negative 9/4 is 2.25, and then negative 3/2 is 1.5, so right about there. And then from there I'm going to go up 1 to the right 1. So again, I'm pretending this is my origin, and the mirror image is through this line, axis symmetry. This is y equals 3/2. This is my axis of symmetry. And then, so the mirror image is going to be right there. And then my next point from the origin, which is the vertex, I'm going to plot as 4, 2. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a little bit, that's like 1.75. And then, oh, it's not plot there, but it's 4, 2, 1, 2. So it'll be right there. And the image point right there. And it opens up sideways. Like that. Alright, so that's parabolas. Okay, so the equation of a circle, standard form. So the equation of a circle centered at hk with radius r is given by the formula x minus h squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared. Okay, so this is actually the Pythagorean theorem. The distance formula, again, kind of disguised a little bit. But if you recall, the distance formula is d equals square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. And the definition of a circle is all the points that are equidistant from a given point. So that given point is, say, hk, which is the center. And say we want the distance to be r units. And we want all the points x and y that are r units away. So if we plug this into that equation, r equals square root of x is x sub 2 minus x sub 1 would be h squared plus y sub 2, which is y, minus y sub 1, which would be k squared. And then you square both sides, you get r squared equals x minus h squared plus y minus k squared, which is really the distance formula. And that gives you a circle. So if you find all the points that meet that criteria, so I got a compass, and I'll just set it here. And then you do your swivel around. My compass is not working real well. Okay, so you get the circle. So every point, any x, y on this curve, that distance is going to be the same, r units. This point x, y is going to be r units. Okay, so all the points that satisfy that make the equation. Alright, so let's try a couple. Okay, so we're going to find the equation of the circle satisfying the given conditions. Center will be 5, 6, so remember that's your HK. And the radius is square root of 11. So remember, the circle is going to be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So x minus h, which is 5. Now notice, it's minus 5 and the center was 5, just like we did with the parabolas before in that form. It's the opposite. So it'll be y minus 6, same thing, equals square root of 11 squared, and then we just simplify the square root of 11 squared, which is just 11. So that's your equation. Let's try one of these, like number 39. The center is negative 4, 1, and it passes through negative 2, 5. So we know it's going to be x minus h, which is negative 4, so minus and minus becomes plus 4. Y minus k, which is 1, equals r squared. So the only thing we need to do is figure out r squared. So the idea is this is an x and a y. Just plug it into this equation, or you can put it in the distance formula. It's exactly the same thing. So if I plug in the x for negative 2, remember this really is the distance formula, and I'm going to put in 5 for the y, and that's going to tell me r squared. So we get 2 squared plus 4 squared, which is 4 plus 16, so it's 20. Okay, so now we can write the equation. Now we're going to take this r squared is 20 and write it back up there. So x plus 4 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 20. Remember, the 20 is already squared. R squared is 20. Alright, now find the center and the radius of the circle, and then graph the circle. So number 45. Well, let's do 43. So if I have x plus 1 squared plus y minus, or y plus 3 squared equals 49. So the center is negative 1, negative 3. Radius is this, r squared is 49. So r is the square root of 49, which is 7. So radius is 7, center is negative 1, negative 3. And what you do is you're going to go to negative 1, negative 3, and then you're going to set your compass to be 7 away. So we'll just pretend that that's 7. And then you make the circle something like that. Okay? So you're going to go 7 that way, 7 up that way, 7 that way, and then 7 that way. And then you use compass, you can make a nice little circle, which that was a horrible demonstration, but hopefully you get the idea. My math lab's really easy. You just drag it out to the right length. You click the center, you drag out, then you click it, drag it out to the radius, and then that's it. So it's pretty simple. Alright, let's try one where it's not in the correct form and we got to complete the square to figure out the center. So let's look at number 52. Okay, so the technique is just like we did completing the square when we did it with quadratic formula. So what I do is I put my x terms together, my y terms together. That 15, negative 15, I'm going to add it to both sides. So it's over there. And then I'm going to complete the square for each piece. So I'm going to take half the middle term, half of 6 is 3, square 3, which is 9, and add it to both sides. Then I'm going to do the same thing for the y's. Take half the middle term, so half of 4 is 2, 2 squared is 4, add it to both sides. So we got 15 plus 9 plus 4 is 28. Is that 28? 19, 28. And now we can say the center is negative 3, 2, and the radius is the square root of 28. Or simply, let's simplify that. It's 2 times 2 times 7, so 2 comes out, 7 stays inside. So we got the center is negative 3, 2, and the radius is 2 root 7. Let's try one more. Now this one, 55, you see there's no x, there's just an x squared term but no x term. So that's going to be basically x plus 0 squared. Then the y squared plus 10y plus blank. You're going to add the 75 to both sides. Complete the square. Okay, so the x squared one, right, there's nothing to do. I'll just do that just to emphasize that it's 0. I don't need to write it, but anyway. Half of 10 is 5, 5 squared. So remember, you divide by 2, square it, add it to both sides. And so our center is 0, negative 5, and the radius is square root of 100, which is 10. Alright, so that concludes the lesson from 10.1, and that concludes the lesson for the semester. Go to my math lab, complete your exercises there, and I will see you on the final.